Jai Shri Krishna to all, and welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series, Freedom from Pains and Miseries to Happy, Healthy and Peaceful Life, based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul, and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, my question and God's answers. And our today's session, series number 81, Learn to Know Yourself. You might have remember titles like that before, but here we have more. So, pranam to Guruji Hariharji Maharaj for his blessings. And guiding to get together this morning. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam. And whatever you see here, the purpose of Path to Anandam, again the same, go beyond the miseries and experience eternal happiness, peace, Anandam. All these blessings have come, the guidance have come from Hariharji Maharaj, and whatever you see on this page, all the #1 bestsellers on Amazon.com and some CDs, and being a happiness coach, self-transformation coach, guiding, giving the presentations to different universities, different organizations, to management teams. It all comes from Swami Hariharji Maharaj's blessing. So thank you very much, Swamiji and Lord Krishna, for coming in my life and bringing us all together. Thank you. In today's series, starting totally a new chapter. Know your gunas, your aptitude, your habits, your swabhava. And Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna Ji, reminds us many things before this, starting this session. And how the Prakriti is created, how this Mother Nature is created, how this whole Triguni Maya has been created. Relationship of Prakriti, Mother Nature, Maya, our body and God. And what is the purpose of our existence, our rebirth, this body to appear again? And gunas, Maya, nature, and relationship with us, which comes from chapter 13, which we will talk further. What are gunas and their types? How to identify them, practice them, bring them in our behavior, uplift ourselves, and the homework, what we have to do. And then, of course, my sankalpa. I know myself. Meditation, and then question and answers. So let's start our prayers, because we are the Arjuna of today. And Arjuna started to get blessing from Lord Krishna through this prayer. After crying, after the complaining, and Lord Krishna kept smiling on him. And finally, instead of complaining and crying and why me kind of situation, he simply surrenders to him. He humbly requests him, because he was in a really confused state, very depressed state. In Bhagavad Gita, it is called Vishad state, where one is totally confused. So let's all pray together to remove our confusions, if we have any, I have many. So that's why this prayer is very good for me. And I'm sure we all are living in this world. We do get confused. So Arjuna's watch. Karpanye dosho pehte svabhava paschyami prashyami svam dharma samudi cheta yacha saisyani nishchitam bruni tanme shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapanyam shishyasteham shadi mam tvam prapanyam. Arjuna said, my heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure and my mind is confused about my duty dharma. I am requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me. Not what am I asking. What is definitely good for me? Why? Because I am your disciple. I surrender to you. So please instruct me. And after listening to Arjuna's prayer, Lord Krishna blessed him with the blessings of giving the whole wisdom, the timeless wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. And after listening to that, Arjuna said, now I will do as you advise, because previously he said, na karishe, I would not do, na jot. And then now he says, I will do as you advise. So from Jyotasya doing, basically, I will not do as you are advising me. Now I will do as you advise. So Karishe Vachanam Tav. Blissful journey Arjun went through. He transformed himself and lifted himself, which is called the consciousness. An experience that who is standing in front of him is not just his friend Krishna, but he is the universal Lord, universal Guru, Satchit Ananda. So in summary, Hariharji Maharaj explains what is Bhagavad Gita. When Arjun and his divine company, Lord Krishna, got together, and Lord Krishna blessed him with this Gita, which is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual to live righteously. In other words, whatever we do, we should do it as a karma yoga, not just a karma. It teaches us how to transform our gunas, our limitations, and attain, finally experience eternal happiness, peace, oneness with the creator of universe, which is called also the place Param Dham, the supreme place where one likes to be, experiencing Satchitananda while living in the material world, and beyond means Param Dham. And Swamiji put this, I actually put several quotes from him and summarize it as it was required according to the session. So this blissful journey, going to Param Dham, oneness, experiencing the supreme bliss by knowing your gunas, our nature, our subhas. So as mentioned before, Gita 700 verses, 18 chapters, 3 main yogas, which we have already spoken about Karma Yoga, chapter 1 to 6. We have already spoken about Bhakti Yoga. And now we are on the path of Karma, Jnana Yoga. So how to experience your true nature? I am Satchit Ananda through Karma Yoga. And then through love and devotion, Bhakti Yoga. And now through the ultimate wisdom, which is called Jnana Yoga, true wisdom yoga. And that is from chapter 13 to 18. And today we will be starting chapter 14 and focusing on the verse 2 and 5, but basically it will be 2 to 5. So through the wisdom, Lord Krishna will take us all the ignorance of these, like an onion. You peel the onion, one layer at a time, he will take all the ignorance away from us and know our true nature. So here is a summary where we go from Vishad, we go to the ultimate prasad through Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. So now we are at the Jnana Yoga. And of course, we also learn about the Dhyan Yoga. So what is this chapter 14 is all about? Giving us the detailed knowledge about ourselves, our swabhava, our nature, our energies, different type of energies which flow in our body. So gunas, it's a Sanskrit word, means qualities, aptitude, and our swabhavas. And we all, whole universe is made with these three gunas. These are the three fundamental qualities exist in everything around us in nature. Whether we are seeing or we are feeling or we are doing, all is made up with these Triguni Maya. So these energies, these three type of forces, they're all weaved together and form the universe and everything in it. Like body is made with Triguni Maya. We are the byproduct of our gunas. Food is different. So actually in chapter 17 and 18, it will come to complete description of it. Why? Because now Lord Krishna is telling us, by giving us the detailed knowledge of gunas, that we should go beyond our limitations. We become gunatit through the process of purifying ourselves. In other words, removing our grudges, complaining, calm, krodh, low, moh, all removing that and transforming ourselves. We are truly transforming here, which I said before, Adat buri sudhar lo, ho gaya bhajan. Here Lord Krishna is showing us, again telling us how to change our habits, our behaviors, which are more conducive to experiencing more anandam, blissful state within ourselves. And that state ultimately calls liberation, moksha, oneness with supreme power, or reaching to Parandham, or ultimately Satchit Ananda, who we are. So these are basically the Triguni Maya. Is again, it's a three types. It's a tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic, which we will discuss further detail on this one. But what is here, this chapter, Krishna Bhagwan Ji is reminding us that idam jnanam uprashyate mam sadhyam magata sarge api nopjante pralayate na vyathanti cha, which means those who have acquired this transcendental knowledge, attain the transcendental nature like me, my own, and have become one with me. They are neither born at the beginning of every cosmic cycle nor disturbed in the time of final dissolution. So he is just basically saying the summary here, what he's trying to remind us. However, if we go back, the Gita answers those basic 5-6 questions. What is the purpose of my life? Who am I? I'm Satchitananda. Where did I come from? Due to my cause and effect, my karmas. And karmas are born from our gunas. Where will I go from here? And this is where Lord Krishna is teaching us where to go how to get to your ultimate purpose of life, your destination. And who is God? Because many times people have questions. Who is God? I don't see him, because there is something you have experienced that power. So how to experience that God? So ultimately he's saying, attaining supreme knowledge, this wisdom of knowing me, knowing this transcendental knowledge, attains me. And actually Swami Vivekananda ji also said, awaken and rise. Just get up, arise, or you can say arise and awake. It's the two ways it is said. So arise and awake. So we have to uplift ourselves gradually by uplifting ourselves. So what else is Bhagwan Krishna ji is reminding us with this verse? He is again saying, Ya evam veti pusham prakrti cha gune. Here is a new word coming here, gune. Sa sarvatha vartmane apnita bhuyo vijayate. One who thoroughly understands the interrelationship of the spiritual soul, that current which flows within us, and the individual soul, which is a mother nature, and our body, which is made with the matter and energy, with the interchangeable of the three modes gunas, will never be born again. Here is a key word. He says, there won't be any rebirth. So, which means if there is no rebirth, we are not born, we are beyond the birth and death, which means we have freedom from pain and miseries. They will be liberated again and attain oneness and reach Param Dham, regardless of their present conditions, work and lifestyle. This is so powerful verse. This is the last verse of chapter 13. So in summary, it is saying that true knowledge of ourself, who am I? And actually we learn in chapter 13 that we are made with 24 elements. Some are materialistic, like body, our nose, all the indriyas, like eyes, nose, 5 indriyas, then gyan indriyas, mind, whatever we see, whatever we touch, and their objects. So there are about 24 elements. Along with those 20 elements, there are Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ankar, greed. All those are part of us. So we are made with everything of those. However, to experience and ultimately reach to Param Dham, we must know who God is, which Lord Krishna explains very well in chapter 13. That God is omnipresent, he's everywhere. But basically, in simple language, that is Paramatma who created the whole universe. But when this Atma, Paramatma comes to our body, it becomes an Atma, and then Atma and body becomes the Jeev Atma. And that Jeev Atma is the one needs to transform from Dharmatma to Paramatma through becoming a Mahatma. And how we become Mahatma? By Karam Yoga, by Bhakti Yoga, by Jnana Yoga. So here it says true knowledge, the knowledge of self-God oneness, transcendental knowledge. It is, see here it mentions that the transcendental knowledge, what is transcendental knowledge? That's the metaphysical knowledge. Means everything in the world is made, all is made with matter and energy. Like this is my body, physical body, the current which flows in it, that makes me real human being. Otherwise it's a Shav. But with that Shakti, it becomes Shiv Shakti. Shiv becomes, without Shakti, Shiv is Shav. So just have to remind ourselves that this energy is the one which we have to experience. So this is a path to liberation, body plus soul, which is Jiva Atma, or individual's being, through the qualities of God, which is called divine qualities. helping others, kindness, etc., then we experience that true wisdom. When we are in a truly calm, truly peace, then we can hear our inner voice. We can feel the presence of God. And that's where it is called liberation, oneness, permanent. So, Lord Krishna does not even stop here. He continues to remind us. And again, he's emphasizing who he is. He says, Bija Mam Sarva Bhutanam. If you remember, we had learned this in chapter 7 and also in chapter 8. Chapter 7, we learned Vasudev Sarvamiti. And then chapter 8, that this creation and dissolution. So this is where he says the total material subject, Prakriti, is the womb. This is the garb, jise we call it. I impregnate it with the individual soul, and thus all living beings are born. In other words, I put the seed. He is the father. Like we are born of our parents' relationship. Our children are born because our relationship with our partners. Similarly, anytime there is a new entity needs to be produced, the male and female energy have to get together. And that's where he's mentioning that I put my bija into the womb of the Prakriti. Prakriti is the womb. I put it there. And from there, the creation comes. We are created. So here is son of Kunti. For all species of life that are produced, the material nature is the womb, and I am the seed-giving father. So mother nature is our ma, and God is our father. So that's why we say, Tumeva mata cha pita, tumeva bandhu cha sakha. Tumeva mata cha pita. This is where the mata and pita comes. So God is the creator of all, where we saw that his different Vishvarupa, and here we see the whole universe, where we are here, this is the whole creator, and behind that, that's the whole energy. And ultimately, how we experience is who we are nothing, but we are love, peace, ananda. So there is Lord Krishna now explains us, which is again, it goes into chapter 13. Chapter 3. Here it says, Prakriti Kriyamani Gune. Again, it's the Gune part. Now, we are learning about these gunas because we are the byproduct of gunas. Gunas create our karmas, good, bad, and best karmas, which is called Triguni Maya. Prakriti is made with this. So here he is saying, but what are these gunas? These are our limitations. These are causes of our good, our miseries, and our pains, because that's where Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that whatever you are experiencing with your lowest consciousness, your Vishad, and that is the lowest of the gunas, which is tamasic. So Arjuna was at tamasic state at that time. So Bhagavan Krishna ji tells him, go beyond your limitations. Nistray guno bhava Arjuna. That's the very first advice he gives to Arjuna. And then further he explains why we should go beyond the gunas. He says, all activities. This is the prakrte kriyamani gune karmani sarvasha. Ahankaram vimulatma karte miti manate. All activities are carried out by the three modes of material nature, gunas, which is also material nature is called gunas. Good, bad, good, and the best. But in ignorance, we all think that I'm the doer. I'm the one who does that. So I am the doer is the cause and effect of the birth and death. This is where based on our karmas, we keep going into this cycle of marna, paida hona, marna, paida hona, birth and death, birth and death. And he's just telling us how to go beyond that. So material nature, Maya, is the cause of the existence of human body, which we learned in previous chapter 13. The human body is the byproduct of the gunas. Again, he says, while seated in the body, the soul enjoys the association, experience, and attachment to these gunas. Though Atma is sitting in this body, so Atma should be as pure as God. But what happens to this Atma? Why Atma gets contaminated? Although Atma does not get dirty, contaminated, however, just like a water, when the water is dropped in the soil, it becomes kichar, basically. So you cannot feel the water, you just feel the dirt. Similarly, when soul is experiencing and mingling with the different things in the world, due to greed, due to anger, due to ego, then it gets covered up, not contaminated, but it gets covered up. And that's where he's saying, while seated in the body, the soul enjoys the association, experience, and that attachment. We experience, like if I like to eat the food which might not be suitable for my body, but my tongue wants it. My tongue wants it, all the chaat and golgappas and all that. But at my age, I should not be eating the fried food. But that's where my tongue's attachment. So, which the cause of the birth is good and evil. So this is not the birth of birth and death, but basically all the diseases we experience, all the different situations we experience, pains and miseries we experience. This is all due to our attachment to these gunas. So it says guna sangate. So again, talking about gunas. And then it says, which we already spoke about it, it's a combination of both the words. I'm going to summarize it again. One who thoroughly understands the interrelationship of the Jeev Atma, Paramatma, and these gunas, how our gunas drive us crazy, will never be born again. Once we understand, then we can become a sakshi, we can witness it, how my behavior is, and then we have a control, like we are sitting in a car and then we have a steering wheel in our hand. And I know which side my car is going. In other words, which guna is overtaking, because gunas overtake. In different situations, we become tamsic, rajasic, sattvic. In other words, when we feel very depressed, we are in tamsic nature, like Arjuna. But when we are really passionate and running around and trying to achieve, that's a rajasic guna. And when I'm just doing the work, but I'm so calm and or sitting and just meditating or just feeling in so peace, that's a sattvic nature. So we all go through that. So once we understand them, they will be liberated again, oneness, and reach Param Dham, regardless of their present conditions, work, and lifestyle. So freedom from rebirth, attain oneness and Param Dham. So here, this is a rebirth, this is a Param Dham status of mind, and people who are actually on that duality part, that for them, Param Dham is like, they call it a dham, Shiv dham, Krishna dham. So those dhams. So it is externally one can think about, which is in the supreme power, which is all the way up. That's why we say it, upar wala jo karega, because upar wala means param dham mein jo baitha hai, whatever he does. But in physical body, when we feel love, peace, and anandam, that is the param dham of this body. Internal, so now for non-duality. So our true nature, we know that we are Satchitanand, which we have been speaking about it. We are love, peace, anandam. That's our true nature. That's in our DNA, every cell of our body. However, when it comes to the body, as I said before, our Atma gets mingled with lot of worldly things and acquires the nature of the world. So our Swabhava changes, our nature changes, our aptitude changes. Sometimes we are tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, and we are all born with it. It's not that. But here is the very important point, inherited which are accumulated over many lifetimes. If we have a lifestyle of sattvic nature, we are automatically drawn to that community, those friends, because we want to learn more. But if we are more in the worldly things, then we are drawn to those kind of people. And this not why it happens. We have a natural tendency to be drawn to those kind of things. Where does it come from? It comes from previous janmas, over a period of time, whether we have lived the tamasic style or rajasic or sattvic, that particular gunas will be dominating in our system. That's why, we hear that certain people remember the Bhagavad Gita at the age of 4 and age of 6 and all that because they have accumulated in their mind. And they're carrying that sattvic wisdom in with them. It's just like an example I can give you, just like a water. You boil the water. No matter how much you boil it, as long as it is on the stove, it will continue to boil. As soon as you take it down, what happens? When gradually it becomes getting cooler and cooler and cooler, and it comes to the original state. Similarly, when we are in deep meditation, we are totally calm. We experience that I am Satchit Anand. I am that eternal happiness. So this Triguni Maya, which I mentioned that before, that this chapter is path of knowing the details of 3 gunas and division and transcending from them, becoming gunatit through the process of self-purification and self-transformation, and then experiencing moksha, liberation, oneness, and paramdham. So in summary, the sattvic state is where there is a light, where is a harmony, where there is a peace, there is a anandam. Rajasic nature, when we are very active, very passionate, we want to achieve the whole world, running around like a chicken, running around without head. It just sometimes that happens too. But it's a good character. We will talk about it later about that one more detail about it, because most of the, here you can see sadhu sants, more calm people. Here you can see it's a worldly person, but also the CEOs and the business icons and all that, they have a rajasic nature. And then the tamasic, I can give you simply the sattvic, the one who lives like a sadhus, rajasic, who lives like a rajas, like a king, who does everything like running the kingdom. And the tamasic, the one who is like, I would say simply, who is tamasic means jo dusron ko taklif dete hain, like a terrorist. And also they're lazy, they don't do much work. So this is a basic distinction of that. And here, this word say, Sattvam, Rajasvam, Itti Guna, Prakriti Sambhava, Nibdanti Mahabhav, Dehe, Dehanam Avyavam. The sattvic goodness, purity, rajasic, passion, activity, and tamas, ignorance, inertia, Prakriti. These 3 qualities, born of Mother Nature, born of Prakriti, which bind to the eternal soul, to the body. So here is the answer why we behave differently, because depending on our circumstances, our nature, influence of that particular guna will dominate. We might feel lazy, we might feel upset, we might feel very disturbed, deluded, or we are very active, depending if I have a certain project to deal with it. I have to totally focus on it, and I might not be thinking about meditation at that time or mantra or anything, because I'm so focused about getting my job done. As long as I am connected with the supreme power, with that golden light within me. So again, Gita is a mirror. See yourself. So we have to observe where we are. And here is the assessment guide. It is in one of my book, My Question and God's Answers. It's a beautiful Excel sheet over there. You can see all these tables, what the tamasic nature is, Rajasic, Sattvic, all the details about the different personalities, different food, different activities. But here is the assessment, which is called the self-analysis and self-awareness. Whether I'm in the tamasic behavior or rajasic or tamasic. So know your aptitude and do your karma accordingly. Then we will have a success, eternal happiness and peace. We are kind of running like a little bit time, but this is basically the benefit. I'm just giving the summary of it. What happens, how one that lower self goes to with the sadhana, with practices, with love and devotion, little by little, all this rajasic and tamasic nature gets out of the system, and we become the golden light, and we become the gunatit. And when we become the gunatit, we are totally in love, peace, ananda. And I always put the example of Guruji, who were like from Jivatma, he became the Dharmatma, and then he became the Mahatma, and then he merged with the Supreme Soul, Paramatma. So, time for our to practice and how to go beyond our guna, our limitations here. So, know your Svabhava. This is a key thing. We must know that what gunas is dominating at me. And then how can I go beyond and how can I reach there? So in chapter 13, the main message was become witness, focus on yourself, live in awareness. But prior to that, we should do our practices. And our practices are first thing in the morning. When we get up, this is our dincharya, daily activities. First thing in the morning, rather than looking on the phone and all these messages, just do our mantra. Or read Bhagavad Gita, or read Guru Granth Sahib, or Ramayana, whatever resonates with your personality. Or to me, mantra is the one. Even at 3 times or 108 times, whatever, that's the first thing I enjoy doing it. And then do our yoga, pranayam, meditation. So this is the body's exercise. It's the body, and then the pranayam, and then the meditation. So it's for the soul. And little by little, I put it here again. What happens? We become gunatit. So awareness of your gunas. Because we perform action according to our gunas. Suppose I'm angry, I might say certain wrong things. But if I'm calm, I would forgive people. I will be very ignorant when other people even try to excite me or say something or try to argue with me. I wouldn't respond to it. So my action depends on the status, whether I am a tamasic nature or passion, or I'm in the rajasic or sattvic. So this is basically go tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, become gunatit, and then experience it. So this is the homework. We have to do that continuously. Our goal should be from Jeev Atma to Paramatma, man to God. And through gunas, through acknowledging at the status of mind, and put our best effort to go change our Svabhava, calm ourself, which is a sattvic nature, and then experience. And then his finest wisdom comes. Lord Krishna says, then you will be beyond birth and death, means you are beyond miseries and pains and oneness with God. So that's Param Dham. And then, so during the day, we should practice. In the evening, we should continue to evaluate our day, how I behaved, how I did, and do meditation, and then pray to God for helping us, surrendering, because surrendering is the biggest challenge. At least I have it. So I always remind myself before going to bed, and always recite this verse: Sarva dharman paritajya mamekam sharanam braj. Aham tvam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami ma shucha. I will remove all of your miseries once you surrender to me. So I pray to God, please help me to surrender to you. So this is the time for our homework now. Again, be aware and ask yourself, and ask myself, self-inquiry. And this is called Sadhyaya Bhyasanam, practice, 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 which we just saw that in the previous slide. But ask this question all the time. Do I have my supreme goal of self-realization, oneness? Do I experience God's presence? Do I live in awareness, observe my behavior, my gunas? Do I watch my thoughts, speech, and action? Do I do spiritual practices? Do I really become a witness, sakshi myself, and observe that which behavior is dominating in me out of these gunas? So continue to practice, practice, practice. And then have our sankalpa that I know my subhava, aptitude. I am beyond my limitations. So again, it says, don't worry about it. Sankalpa prabhavam. We have to have this sankalpa, because with that sankalpa, shanai shanai uppar mein, little by little, we will reach to the highest conscious level. But our continuously atma sayam, we should continuously practice, 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 and not thinking nothing else. So this is a step-by-step process, but we must have a patience, because it's not a quick fix. So don't get discouraged. Have a lot of patience. And once we do that, then the seed of spirituality grows, grows, grows. And finally, we experience our eternal happiness, peace, and who am I? So thank you very much. That I know myself, and I know the path of liberation, because this is a path of liberation.